Mexico is a country full of history and mysteries, scientists know this, which is why they dedicate tons of resources to finding and revealing these mysteries. However, things don't always go the way they want. Here we will show you 10 discoveries in Mexico that terrified the experts. Number 1. Cave of Crystals. The next discovery seems straight out of the pages of a fantasy novel, but the Cave of Crystals is very real. In 2000, some miners were searching for fresh mineral deposits when they stumbled upon enormous milky white crystals inside a cave located beneath a mountain in Nica, Mexico. The crystals were as large as telephone poles and shot out in different directions. What's surprising is that these crystal pillars are over 500,000 years old. Scientists are unsure how these wonders came to be, but they conclude that it happened like this: magma filtered into the earth when it formed millions of years ago. Since its discovery, the underground chamber has attracted scientists from around the world, luring them in with its rare beauty and scientific mystery. Number 2. Secret Aztec Temple. Mexico is or was home to several of the world's lost civilizations, but perhaps the most mysterious of all is the Aztec civilization. Although we know they existed in history, very little is known about them. However, things changed when scientists discovered a secret Aztec temple that had remained hidden for over 800 years. The temple emerged after a strong earthquake revealed its location in 2018. When archaeologists explored the site, they found even stranger things, from statues representing ancient ritual practices to markings telling the story of alien creatures visiting the Earth. Archaeologists believe the temple dates back to 1150 and was built by the ancient Aztecs who lived in central Mexico. Number 3. Giant Sinkhole. A giant sinkhole is one of the most horrifying forces of nature to date. Imagine the Earth deciding it is time to swallow what lies on top of it. Entire houses can disappear in the blink of an eye. The worst part is that, although science has improved, there is still no way for scientists to know for sure what causes sinkholes and how to predict them. Scientists felt powerless when, in 2021, a massive crater opened up in a field near Santa Maria Zacatepec, in central Mexico. According to nearby residents, they heard a strange noise and, upon investigating, saw a 5-meter hole in the ground. But that's not the strangest part. While scientists tried to figure out the origin of the sinkhole, it continued to expand, and a week later, the crater grew to reach 100 meters. Number 4. The world's widest tree. In the depths of Mexico's jungle, there is another wonder. This time, it is not about ancient civilizations leaving clues about the past but rather Mother Nature. The Tule tree, located inside a closed cemetery in Santa Maria del Tule, is the world's most robust tree. The tree is not exactly tall, standing only 36 meters, but it is the widest ever discovered, with over 12 meters. If you are wondering how wide it is, it would take about 30 people holding hands to circle the tree. A tree is usually not scary, but this one is not ordinary. The spectacular circumference of the Tule tree earns it a place in the record books. Its twisted and gnarled bark attracts crowds to its ominous presence. Visitors have found in its knots and twists human-like faces, animals, and even otherworldly beings. Scientists have tried to understand the tree, but so far, nothing. At first, they thought the tree came from a fusion of several trees that grew together, but now DNA results have shown that it is a single tree. Scientists estimate that it is around 2,500 years old and still going strong. Number 5. Hidden Beach. The following is a more or less fortunate incident, but it still confounds scientists. This stretch of sand is so secret that it cannot be seen from the sea nor reached by land. One must swim through a long underwater tunnel from the Pacific Ocean to reach it. From afar, it looks like a tropical paradise, and it is. But the Playa del Amor in the Marianas Islands has a much darker past. Before becoming a tourist spot, the area was the scene of several bombing tests by the Mexican government in the 1960s. Several environmentalists protested against the bombings and forced the government to leave the place. For several years, it remained untouched, and Mother Nature worked her magic, turning the bomb-damaged area into what is now known as Playa del Amor. Number 6. Center of Desperation. Speaking of underwater phenomena, here is one that has confounded scientists so much that they called it the bathtub of desperation. With a name like this, you can imagine what to expect, and it does not disappoint. It is an underwater lake, yes, you heard correctly, discovered 914 meters below the surface of the Gulf of Mexico. However, unlike most underwater rivers, this lake is extremely dangerous. It is essentially a black hole of hypersaline water and dissolved methane that kills any animal unlucky enough to fall in. The discovery was made in 2015 after a U.S. research ship collected dead crabs from the toxic pool. However, it is not all bad news. Scientists have been trying to understand brine pools, as they are called. Observations of this particular one have provided scientists with insight into the strange world of aquatic biology and geology. Number 7. Underwater river. Deep in the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, there is something that will leave you in awe. An underwater phenomenon has left scientists puzzled. It is underwater. I know what you are thinking, how can there be water underwater? Wouldn't it merge and become a single mass of water? Scientists have been asking themselves the same questions since they discovered this layer of dense water flowing along with the ocean current. It was revealed as an incredible 20-meter thick and 96-kilometer-long river that separates from the surrounding waters. Although the phenomenon is not exactly rare, it is the first time researchers have observed it in tropical waters. Usually, these things happen in cold areas due to ice melting and formation. While the site has become a tourist attraction, scientists say it could mean a drastic change in the ocean floor. Number 8. Alien skull. Nothing scares scientists more than a group of unearthed creatures from another world. When a team of archaeologists stumbled upon a group of 25 skulls similar to those of aliens in a small village in Ana, near Mexico City, they thought they had found evidence that aliens lived among us. The skulls date back about 1,000 years, with an elongated skull that doesn't resemble the typical human skull at all. The discovery caused a frenzy among the people, who believed the skull belonged to aliens who lived among ancient Mexican civilizations centuries ago. However, the skulls did not belong to aliens. According to experts, the skull shows an ancient practice called head binding, which involved cranial deformation that distinguished individuals from the higher social classes of the population. The theory is also supported by the fact that many of the individuals wore expensive ornaments such as bracelets, earrings, and pendants. Number 9. Mask of Tallic. It is not every day that scientists encounter relics that make them question everything they know about the world, but it is not every day that they find this terrifying object either. What you see here is not an ordinary relic. It may seem like a normal mask, but for the ancient Mexicans, it is one of the most powerful objects in the world. It belonged to Tallic, a rain god and one of the most venerated deities in an ancient civilization. Scientists do not know how the masks work, but several have been found during the Aztec period. The cult of Tallic was extremely important as they believed that Tallic was also a god of earthly fertility and water. He was widely worshipped as a benevolent life-giver but also had a dark side, feared for his ability to send hail, thunder, lightning, and destructive water. What would you do if you found a mask of an ancient god lying around? Let us know in the comments.